Friends, welcome to the Book Digest channel. Today we're diving into the Gospel of Mark. Mark is the shortest gospel, but it's filled with action, urgency, and timeless truths that speak directly to the challenges and opportunities of 2025. So, if you're ready to discover how this ancient book holds the keys to living a more vibrant, impactful, and joy-filled life today, then grab your Bible, open your heart, and get ready for an incredible journey through the Gospel of Mark. A gospel of action. Mark wasn't writing for armchair theologians or casual observers. He wrote for people like you and me, people who want to live their faith with passion and purpose. Mark's gospel reads like an adventure story. It's fast-paced, filled with miracles, confrontations, and teachings that challenge us to step out of our comfort zones. Mark doesn't waste any time with long genealogies or theological debates. He cuts right to the chase, introducing us to Jesus, the Son of God, who came to set us free. And you know what word Mark uses over and over again? Immediately. Jesus healed the sick immediately. He cast out demons immediately. He responded to the needs of the people with a sense of urgency and compassion. The message of Mark is just as relevant, just as urgent for us today as it was for the first Christians. Answering the call in 2025, friends, when Jesus saw Simon and Andrew casting their nets, he saw beyond their daily routine. He saw their potential, their hearts, and their willingness to follow a higher calling. He didn't hand them a business plan or a detailed roadmap. He didn't promise them wealth or comfort. Instead, he looked them straight in the eye and said, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." It was a call to a purpose far greater than they could have imagined. Without hesitation, they dropped their nets immediately and followed him. They left behind their old lives, their security, and their comfort zones. That's the kind of radical, life-changing faith that Jesus calls us to. A faith that moves us to action, that transforms our lives and the lives of those around us. Not a maybe someday faith, but a right here, right now, yes Lord, I'm all in kind of faith. A faith that says, I trust you, even when I don't see the whole picture. Too often we let fear, doubt, and uncertainty hold us back from experiencing the fullness of God's plan. We stand at the crossroads, paralyzed by what-ifs and maybes. We hesitate, make excuses, and tell ourselves that we're not good enough. We look in the mirror and see our flaws, our failures, and our limitations. But the truth is, there will never be a perfect time to follow Jesus. The perfect time is now in this moment, with all our imperfections and doubts. God can use anyone, regardless of their past or perceived shortcomings. He sees our potential, our hearts, and our willingness to follow him. He's looking for a willing heart, a surrendered spirit, and a faith that dares to believe that all things are possible with him. A faith that says, "Here I am, Lord, use me." It starts with a decision, a choice to say yes to Jesus no matter what. A choice to step out in faith, to trust in his plan, and to follow him wholeheartedly. Finding peace in uncertain times, friends. Life is full of storms. These storms can come in many forms and at any time, often without warning. We face storms of sickness, financial hardship, relationship problems, doubt, and fear. Each storm can feel overwhelming, like a relentless force that threatens to consume us. In those moments, it's easy to feel like we're all alone, like God is distant. The weight of our struggles can make us feel isolated, as if no one understands what we're going through. But the story of Jesus calming the storm reminds us that even in the midst of the fiercest storms, he is right there with us. His presence is a constant, unwavering source of comfort and strength. He's not caught off guard by our trials, and he hasn't abandoned us. He sees our struggles and is deeply moved by our pain. He's right there in the boat with us, ready to speak peace to the wind and the waves. His words have the power to transform our chaos into calm. Jesus is the Prince of Peace, and he longs to bring peace to the storms of our lives. His peace is not just a temporary relief, but a deep, abiding sense of tranquility. But we have to choose to trust him, to surrender our fear and anxiety to him. Trusting him means letting go of our need to control and allowing his peace to fill our hearts. In the midst of the storm, the disciples were terrified. Their fear was a natural response to the danger they faced. They cried out to Jesus, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" Their cry was a desperate plea for help, a recognition of their helplessness. But Jesus simply said, "Peace, be still." His words were a command that brought immediate calm to the chaos around them. And immediately the wind died down, the waves calmed, and there was a great calm. The transformation was instant and miraculous. Jesus didn't calm the storm before the disciples cried out to him. He waited for them to acknowledge their need for his intervention. He waited until they acknowledged their need for him. This was a lesson in faith and dependence on his power. He wanted them to learn that their peace, their security, their very lives were not dependent on their circumstances but on him. True peace comes from knowing and trusting in his presence. When the storms of life come our way, we can choose to fix our eyes on Jesus and declare his peace over our lives. By doing so, we invite his calming presence into our hearts and minds, transforming our fear into faith. Living a life of humility. Friends, in a world obsessed with status, power, and recognition, Jesus turns our definition of greatness upside down. He challenges us to rethink what it means to be truly great. True greatness isn't found in titles, positions, or possessions, but in humility and service, in putting others before ourselves. It's about the small, everyday acts of kindness that often go unnoticed. Jesus, the Son of God, humbled himself to wash the feet of his disciples, a task usually reserved for the lowliest of servants. This act of humility was a powerful lesson in love and service. He didn't come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. His life was a testament to the power of selfless love and sacrifice. The message of Jesus is just as relevant, just as powerful today as it was 2,000 years ago. It calls us to live differently, to prioritize others over ourselves. The world tells us to climb the ladder of success, but Jesus shows us a different way. He invites us to descend into greatness through humility and service. True fulfillment, true joy, comes from dying to ourselves and living for something greater. It's about finding purpose in serving others and making a positive impact. When we serve others, we experience the joy of giving and the satisfaction of making a difference. It's in these moments that we find true happiness. Serving others starts right where we are. In our homes, our workplaces, our communities. It's about being present and attentive to the needs around us. It's about being kind and compassionate to our families, even when they're driving us crazy. It's about showing love and patience in the little things. It's about going the extra mile for our coworkers, even when we don't feel like it. It's about fostering a spirit of teamwork and support. It's about looking for opportunities to bless others, to offer a helping hand, to share a kind word or a listening ear. It's about making the world a better place, one act of kindness at a time. Living boldly for Christ. Friends, the Gospel of Mark is a call to action, a reminder that following Jesus is not a spectator sport. It's about getting in the game, living our faith with passion, purpose, and boldness. In 2025, let's commit to living out the message of Mark in our own lives. Let's spread the good news and live boldly for Christ. Which of this reflection is getting your attention to live a victorious 2025? Please comment on chat box. Thank you for watching and see you on the next video.